Can1 has agreed to sell its entire stake in sweetened and evaporated creamer manufacturer F&B Nutrition to Asia Dairy Creations for 1 billion ringgit. In a board statement, the can manufacturer said the company and Wholesome Dairies, the holding company of Asia Dairy Creations, yesterday agreed to the final disposal consideration, which is equivalent to the maximum price payable under the sale and purchase agreement which both entities had entered into on June 14, 2019. According to Can1, the disposal would enable the group to unlock the value of and monetize its investment. The group expects to gain between 610.8 million ringgit and 810.8 million ringgit from the disposal, which it plans to use to pay down its bank borrowings. Additionally, the sale allows Can1 to streamline its operations and focus on its general packaging business. Green Packet will invest an initial 100 million ringgit to set up a joint internet data center in Malaysia with Tencent Cloud. Under the agreement, Green Packet will be responsible for setting up the infrastructure, which includes 600 servers, whereas Tencent Cloud will be providing the actual service. According to Group MD Puan Chan Cheong, the total investment in this collaboration could add up to between 300 million ringgit and 500 million ringgit over the next 3 years. He adds that the group could be investing in up to 4,000 servers over the next 4 to 5 years based on demand. The exclusive partnership between Green Packet and Tencent Cloud will be for a period of 8 years plus an additional 2 years starting August 18th. Green Packet expects to see contributions of between 30% and 40% to its bottom line from 2022 once operations go live in the first quarter of 2021. Top Glove says neither the company nor the Malaysian Rubber Glove Manufacturers Association have been consulted by the government on the implementation of windfall tax on glove makers. Chairman Tan Sri Dr. Lim Wee Chai told the agemarkets.com that such a move will result in manufacturers migrating to elsewhere. Traditionally, windfall taxes are imposed on commodity-related products or the natural resources industry rather than on the manufacturing sector. Malaysian glove makers have seen their earnings jump to record highs at a time when demand for gloves have been soaring amid the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic and increases in average selling price across the board. This has fueled speculation that the sector could become the target for new taxes as the government looks for avenues to refill its coffers. Maybank IB Research said in a note yesterday that it foresees the government announcing the windfall tax in the upcoming budget 2021. Top Glove ended the day 3 ringgit and 66 cent or 16.3% higher at 26 ringgit and 8 cent for a market capitalization of 70.61 billion ringgit. Berjaya Sports Toto was in the red for the fourth quarter of FY20 after posting a net loss of 43.27 million ringgit as its business operations were adversely affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Quarterly revenue stood at 475.06 million ringgit. In its notes, it explained that its principal subsidiary, Sports Toto, was only allowed to resume operations on June 17th during the recovery MCO period, resulting in 34 draws being cancelled. Meanwhile, its auto retailing business, run by HR Owen, only resumed operations on June 1st in compliance with the UK's lockdown order. The group also declared a third interim share dividend that works out to roughly 2.4 cents per share. For FY20, Toto made a net profit of 134.24 million ringgit, down 40.8% from 226.85 million ringgit in FY19, while revenue dipped 29.3% year-on-year to 4.65 billion ringgit from 6.58 billion ringgit. Going forward, Toto said it is cautiously optimistic that its businesses will gradually recover, considering the fairly resilient nature of the numbers forecast operator business as seen in past economic crises and turbulent periods. It expects to defend its market share in the NFO segment for FY21. 15 Malaysian companies have been named in Forbes Asia's Best-Under-A-Bil 2020 list for their excellence in sales and profit growth, low debt levels and robust governance. The entities are AME Elite Consortium, Sealink Squared, Frontcan, Johor Tin, Kosan Rubber, Lihan Industries, Magnitech, OpenSeas, Oriental Interest, Pentamaster, Revenue Group, Scientex, Sansuria, Uchi Technologies and UWC. With the exception of C-Link, the other 14 companies are listed on Bursa Malaysia. The Best-Under-A-Billion list highlights 200 Asia-Pacific public companies with less than $1 billion or 4.19 billion ringgit in revenue, but consistent top and bottom line growth. However, there was one COVID-19 caveat. The list was based on full-year data as of July 7th and did not fully reflect the impact of the pandemic-led downturn.